Hello gorgeous, my name is Jen. Thank you for being here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to achieve this very natural everyday makeup look with very minimal makeup products. So let's get started. To begin, I'm going to be using my go-to foundation, which is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear. This is an extremely full coverage foundation, but it's not cakey. Because of my red skin, I'm going to be using a few pumps. But if you are fortunate to have healthier skin than mine, you can just go ahead and use a BB cream or a CC cream for this look. I'm gonna go in with a beauty blender. Make sure that I cover everything and that I have a nice base for the makeup. This makeup is meant to be easy and very fast to do, nothing too elaborate, and using as minimal products as possible. So nothing too complicated. When using a beauty blender, don't forget that the best way to apply the foundation is by tapping. Never drag or circular motions. That's more for brushes. But for beauty sponges, the best way to do it is tap it in. You can also go like this, doing a little more pressure if in places where you think you need a little more coverage, and you'll be all set to go with the foundation. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Skin Correct from Dior. I love this one so much. And I'm only gonna be applying, look at this one. I'm only going to be applying a few dots under my eyes, and I'm going also to use the same corrector for my eyelids for the base of the eyeshadow. I'm going to be using this brush from Profusion. It came in a palette that I bought. I only have one palette from Profusion, but this brush is so nice, and the palette only costs like $10, and it's a really good palette as well. I was very impressed. And with the same brush, I'm just gonna lightly blend my eyelid and move to the other side. I like to use a brush under my eyes because I can get right here in these little spots. So you can also use a beauty blender. There's no issue with that, but I find it easier and a better result with a brush. For almost the entire face, we're going to be using one palette, which is the Natasha Denona Tan palette. This palette has highlighter, bronzer, and blush all in one. And I'm going to show you how you use this palette for your cheeks and also your eyes. This is considered a high-end makeup item. So if you feel like you don't have the budget or you're just experimenting with makeup, there's also other options. This palette from Sleek has almost the same features. You have three colors. You have the bronzer, the highlighter, and the blush that you can use. In the Natasha Denona, you have two types of blushes, and you have a cream formula. This is all powder. A very similar look can be achieved with a product like this, and for a fraction of the price. I'm going to start with the face and using the bronzer. I will be using this Bedillion brush. Is the 195, and it looks like this. And if you see the inside hair, they have different levels, and I love that because when I buff my bronzer, it gives me like a more natural look, and it's not a harsh, it doesn't give me like that harsh line. So use very lightly because this is very pigmented. I'm gonna start with this color. Just one little tap the excess and go in. This is not going to be a very heavy look. It's more for every day. And I don't hear that much about these brushes here in YouTube, but if you're in the look for a new type of brush, I suggest to go and look in that brand. They have really good brushes. This brush is part of the a special effects brush set that I have, but they also have regular brushes. One tip that has helped me a lot with brushes, which works for face brushes and eye brushes, is this one. So you have the brush here. If you want to have a more intense makeup application, you want to hold the brush as close as the hair as possible. If you want more of the buffering effect and are working on layering the makeup and you want a softer look, then you would just move back, and then it's not as intense because your hand has to work harder and it's not gonna be so strong. So it all depends on how intense, and it comes with practice, but it all depends on how intense you want the makeup application to be and how fast and accurate you think you can do it. If you're just starting makeup, or if you just want to take your time, I would just hold it about here so it's not so uncomfortable, which is like so wobbly. If you're all the way at the end, I would hold it right about here, which is a little bit more of halfway towards the end of the brush, and I'll just go in the buffering motion, and it's just easier. It's easier, and it's gonna give you a softer look. And like I said before, this also works if you're layering. I'm going to take this cream product right here, which is gonna work as a base for the highlighter and the blush. And for that, I'm going to use the clean side of my beauty blender, which will be this one here. And I'm gonna pick up the product. This product can be applied with a finger, with a brush, or with a beauty blender. But today we're gonna use a beauty blender. And I'm just going to apply it as a base. And this will give your highlight a lot more intensity. Just apply it where you want that highlight to pop even more. And even right now you can see the difference here and here, but wait until you see when we apply the highlighter. It's just amazing. The good thing about this product is that although I'm tapping cream on the top of the foundation and also the corrector, it doesn't pick up the product. It's amazing. So now that we have a base on, we're going to go with a highlighter. I'm gonna be using this Super Glow highlighter just to give like an overall highlight to my cheek, and then we're gonna do the pop of highlights with the last product. I will be using this RAKUTEN brush. It's very fluffy. And I'm just gonna go all over. Now, I'm putting the highlighter all over, but because we put the base here, it's gonna be stronger where the cream base is. And the reason why I'm doing that is because we're also using this product right here as a blush. Now we're gonna use the last product as the last pop of highlighter, which is this one. This is a Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, and I'm just gonna pop right here in the highest points of my cheeks. And this is the one that I'm going to be using here, where I also applied the cream base. For the eyes, we are going to start with this bronze color, and we're going to go in the outer corner of the eye and right above where the eye crease is, and we're going to create a very natural everyday eye look. One tip that has worked for me with hooded eyes is that I try to do the crease above my natural crease, and in order to do that I have to apply makeup with my eyes open, so it will be about here. What happens with hooded eyes is that you can do all the work doing naturally, like if you are working on your crease, but my crease is right here. So I can do beautiful work on my eyes. I could take all the time in the world, and then when I open my eyes, it all disappears. So I have to make a crease, an imaginary crease on top of my natural one in order for my eye to look a little bigger. For the center of my eye, I'm going to take this highlighting powder and I'm gonna apply it right in the center. This is a Wayne Goss brush. It's natural, but it still gives you a little something, like you have a little makeup on, but it's not overly done. For the eyebrows, I'm going to use this Glossier Boy Brow, which is just a tiny brush with a little tint. I don't usually do a lot with my eyebrows, especially not if it's an everyday look. But if you want to do your eyebrows, Glossier also has what's a product called the Brow Flick, which is amazing to define the brows. It's this one right here, and the brush looks like this. Hold on. It's extremely thin, and you can get very detailed work, and you can draw one hair at a time. It's really amazing. It's called the Brow Flick. So all the information of all the products that I'm mentioning here are going to be linked in the box below. As I was putting on my mascara, I blinked and I got mascara on the top of my eyelid and then some in the bottom. The best way to manage that situation is don't panic. Just wait until it dries off and you could just flick it right off. But you have to wait until it dries, otherwise it's gonna be a big hot mess. And last but not least, the lipstick. I'm going to be using Donatella from Pat McGrath. It's a beautiful nude color. It's a little deeper than nude, but still gorgeous. And this is the final look. A look that is very easy to make with minimal products, and they could be worn all year round. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you did, please leave me a comment and see what you think, what you could have done a little different. And also, if you see fit, please subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye.